Hi and Assalamualaikum to Sezu AIZAT HAMDAN. My name is Zurin binti MOHAMAD MUNADI and my matrix number is 23 DIB19F1052. So we choose DRB Hicom company as our group presentation project.
Assalamualaikum, my name is ADRIANA binti AZLAN and my matrix number is 23 DIB19F1006.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is NURINA binti Muhammad HAIRI. My matric number is 23DIB19F1028.
Hi, my name is Nurashikin binti Abdurrahman and my number matric is 23 DIB90F1058.
Introduction company of DRB Hicom. Okay, within the manufacturing capability of DRB Hicom is CTRM, a specialist composite product manufacturer and counts Airbus, Boeing and Learjet as their aviation customer. Number 2, DRB Hicom was listed on the main board of the KLSE on 4 September 1992 and assumed its present name on 11 May 2000. And next, it was incorporated in 1980 as the Heavy Industry Corporation of Malaysia Berhad. Okay, next, the DRB Hicom assembled car in Malaysia for Tata Motor, Honda, Isuzu, Mercedes-Benz and Volkswagen with plan for expansion. Number 5, Diversified Resources Berhad, DRB was incorporated in 1990 as Peerless Assets Sedang Berhad. And lastly, the name of the company was changed to the new Serendah Rubber Company Berhad on 15 April 1996. Okay, so let's talk about problem and issue of DRB Hicom. Okay, DRB Hicom have to make a difficult decision in COVID-19 driven new normal. Okay, COVID-19 pandemic has brought across the globe and it cutting across all sectors as it compels company, organization and institution to make significant change in the way they operate.
Next is DRB Hicom affected by this global pandemic which has led to devastating health consequences, multiple social restrictions and substantial economic uncertainties. Next is at DRB Hicom, they focus on the role and veracity of their leader at this time of disruption.
Okay, the third issue is at the onset, the RB Hicom direct their effort on risk management practice to ensure their people are safe and to limit the downside. The RB Hicom refocus on strategy execution to thrive in turbulent time. And the last issue is, as at June 24, 2020, the RB Hicom share prices fell 2 cents or 1.13% to 1.75, valuing the group at 3.4 billion. The stock saw some 262,000 shares traded. Cost of equity. Okay, cost of equity is the return that a company require for investment or project, or the return that individual require for an equity investment. Okay, the formula used is CAPM. Okay, so this is how we are calculate cost of equity. Cost of debt. Okay, cost of debt is the return that a company provide to its stakeholder and creditor. The formula used is interest multiplication 1 minus tax. Preferred stock. Okay, preferred stock are a company stock with dividend that are paid to shareholder before common stock dividend are paid out. Okay, so the formula we are use is dividend divide current price of stock. Okay, this is how we are calculate preferred or stock for 2019 and 2020.
So next is calculation of WACC. So WACC stands for the weighted average cost of capital, represent the average cost to attract investor, whether they are bondholder or stockholder. So as you can see, this is formula of WACC. So in 2020, the WACC of the DRB Hicom is 85,547.3%. Meanwhile, in 2019 is 59,601.6%. So a high WACC is typically a signal of the higher risk associated with a firm's operation. So investors tend to require an additional return to neutralize the additional risk. Next, moving on to capital budgeting. In capital budgeting, we have net present value, probability index, and payback period. For net present value, it is used to help determine how much an investment project or any series of cash flow is worth. For 2020, the NPV is negative 474,216. For 2019, the NPV is 162,574. Second, we have probability index. Probability index is a tool for ranking investment project and showing the value created per unit of investment. For 2020, the probability index is negative 0.31. For 2019, the probability index is 1.58. So lastly, we have payback period. So payback period refers to the amount of time it takes to recover the cost of an investment. So for 2020, the payback period is 12.23 years. This is because the loss that happened in 2020. For 2019, the payback period is 2.78 years.
Next is Chapter 4 Capital Structure. For Case 1 in 2020, asset RM 8,462,413 and the debt is 7,755,436 and the equity for 2020 is RM 4,706,977 and the share in equity is 38,665 share. Okay, for the Case 1 in 2019, the asset is RM 8,025,426 and the debt is 3,173,530 and the last equity in 2019 is 4,851,896 and the share in equity 2019 is 57,997 share. So for calculation in Case 1, share price in 2020 we get RM 280.86 cent and 2019 we get RM 138.40 cent. Number of share repurchased in 2020 is 17,159.07 share and in 2019 is 22,930.13 share. Number of share remaining in 2020 is 21,505.93 share and in 2019 is 35,066.9 share. And the last in Case 1, share price for 2020 is 218.86 cent. We can see share price in 2020 is constant and for 2019 is RM 138.40 cent. Share price in 2019 is constant.
So next is M&M Proposition 2 with tax. So M&M Proposition 2 with tax can describe as the cost of equity increases as the company increases the amount of debt in its capital structure, but the cost of equity does not rise as fast as it does in the no tax case. So as you can see, the unlevered in 2020 is 0.205. Meanwhile, debt after tax is 901,304.64 and the leverage is 901,304.85. So as you can see, in 2019, the unlevered is minus 18.48. Meanwhile, debt after tax is 761,647.2 and leverage is 761,628.72.
Next is analysis the issue. The RB Hicom Berhad Malaysia Operations Maintenance and Repair MRO was originally scheduled to end on March 31, but the MCO has been extended to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. Next is early this month, several car companies announced that they would be temporarily suspending their operation. Next is production activity at East Tanjung Malin and Shah Alam plants will case in unison. Proton is shutting down at its operation in an effort to help with the control of the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. Early this week, the Malaysia Institute of Economic Research (MIER) said the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and the MCO is expected to shrink Malaysia real gross domestic product growth to negative 2.9% for 2020 relative to 2019.
Next is alternative solution. Firstly, they need to put healthy and safety first. The company need to maintain social distancing, splitting shift, and frequent sanitization. and the company need to have a procedure for staff to report if they are feeling unwell. Secondly is to prepare for the light at the end of the tunnel. The company need to have a plan to bring business through the emergency like COVID-19 and ensure it is in a strong position for recovery when it has passed. And thirdly, ready to adapt to COVID-19 that changing our life in a ways and at a scale that we could never imagine. The company need to have a plan to adapt and reconfigure businesses for each stage of this crisis. So in conclusion, we can conclude that DRB Hicom is facing financial risk through their result report in the year of 2020. DRB Hicom is not an exception affected by the pandemic. Businesses are expected to fulfill the task of maintaining staff and the financial situation. This could be seen in the DRB Hicom cash flow in 2020 that indicates the company is staggering according to the company annual report.